Hamjambo investors? Haya muongei kama mko na confidence. Kwani nyumba zio zenu? Ni za kukodi ama ni zenu? Hamjambo? I'll be very brief for those who know I'm a lawyer, and lawyers we are precise and concise. And because I've been talking about money for the last 3 years, for those who know me, I normally appear on your sitting rooms without your invitation. Through Inoro, Citizen TV, Kameme TV, among other channels, and of course more so Inoro TV, Inoro FM. I'll first of all start by congratulating our CEO. I'm part and parcel of this team, which is called Naivera. But sometimes my name goes unmentioned because by the end of the day I'll be given the mic. Not everybody is given the mic, by the way. So some of you will go home having not touched it, because I have the honor of touching it. So I've come to remind you something very briefly. Number one, if you are here, I was trying to imagine how most of you people admire to be, but that is the farthest that you go, unfortunately. You want to become a professor like me and you have RJ of books. Never dream. If you are dreaming of becoming a professor like me and you have RJ for books, that's just what we call a pipe dream. If you want to be a lawyer like me, a learned Fred. I went to school. I have been telling people I went to school, studied law, after I had cleared my PhD many years ago. And I did not just do law, I did masters of laws as well. So I'm doing my 6th degree now, having graduated with 5 degrees and 6 postgraduate diplomas. I only compete with Wanjakoya Matters Education. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I see the CEO talking here, I'm looking at you, and I wanted to see the level of your curiousness or how inquisitive you are. What is popular today was one day unpopular. True or false? What is popular today was one day unpopular. When Naivera came, some of you treated them with what you call skepticism. Am I right? Some of you thought that you were wasting your money. But what was the alternative? We had wasted more even before Naivera came. And one man called Mr. Albert Einstein said, the greatest form of madness is doing the same thing, same way, year in, year out, expecting different results. And today is the tomorrow you are worried about yesterday. So if you do nothing again today, tomorrow will be the same, but you'll be older than you were today. The question is this: you are all growing old. Even as you look at me right now, your bodies are going what we call the basal metabolic rates, you are still aging unconsciously. But the question is your cash flow increasing? When OMO was becoming obsolete, the research and development team came up with what we call OMO with the power form. So it was given 10 years shelf life additional. When Colgate was almost becoming obsolete, they came up with what we call Colgate Humble. But you'll never have minor Humble, unfortunately. So then how, as you grow old, your energy levels goes down, your immunity goes down, but consumption goes up. How many of you, and I want first of all to remove something that has been disturbing your minds. Nobody should come telling you that you are old. How old you are depends on you. You can imagine we had one gentleman in Kenya who was still seeking for his first job at 80 years, though he missed it terribly. So at 80 years, he was looking for his first job, and he walks like this. He was still looking for that job. Joe Biden, at 81, he still wanted to be re-elected, save for the Democrats who actually prevailed upon him. The current president of America is 78 years, am I right? So what makes you think that you're old at 60? You are very young. By your definition. For me, it is the calendar that passes, but my age remains intact. Now, I've come to talk about money. Money has a very simple philosophy, money mantra. Save me today, I'll save you tomorrow. Squander me today, I'll squander you tomorrow. If you want to form a dam, you must stop the flow of the river. If you want to become rich and wealthy, there's a difference between being rich, mushugaji, and wealthy. Rich people have got so many words of notes. And more often than not, they are very ignorant. Rich people are very, very ignorant. Wealthy people are people who put their money somewhere where it adds more value to them. Rich people, they have words of notes. Somebody who earns 1 million shillings per month as a salary, and somebody who earns a rental income of 250. The one who gets 250 is more richer or wealthier than the one who receives a salary of 1 million. Because a job can disappear anytime mysteriously, but the rental income remains. I've come to remind you, you need to ask yourself, as you grow old, are you a value or are you a volume? As you age, are you a value or are you a volume? If all what you wait for is money to consume and you have got no passive income, there's a problem. I thank God for Naivera. Now think about it. I was here when this property was being, when the groundbreaking was being done. The houses here going at 4.2 million, they were going at how much, Mushugaji? Almost 1 million shillings. You have made a whooping 3 million shillings without effortlessly, without you coming here and even inspecting. You have not been an engineer, neither have you been the QS. You have not been the quantity surveyor, neither have you been the mechanical engineer, or maybe what we call electrical engineer. But money has come to your pocket. If you don't save money, you are actually courting death early. Somebody without money can die because of headache, because you can't afford to access any hospital facility. If you want to know how good money is, personally me, I talk about money. You can even see that I represent money. My physical morphology and anatomy speaks on itself. And I represent money. Even my clinometer on my head, which is 5 acres of land, when the pieces of land in Machakos have gone down in terms of prices, is evidence enough that I make money. But I want to make a few things to you because of time. Naivera, please note this. Me, I'm an investor. I have been making people, sometimes they think I'm too proud, but of course I'm proud because I have what I have. Don't expect a cow to be in the same league with an elephant. And don't expect an elephant, it is called an animal, to be at the same league with a dog. Which one gives more children, or call them puppies, call them what? A dog can give us 200 small dogs. Call them, are they called puppies? But an elephant takes 3 years to give us one baby. So, but in terms of value, the one that keeps on downloading, what is the value? Here we are. Naivera came, told you purchase. Some of us people, we are cousins to procrastination. We always keep postponing an idea whose time has come. Me, I don't procrastinate. I have been telling people I started investing money way back in the year 1992 when I got my job. I bought my first piece of land at 21 in Timau. 1 acre was going at 27,000. Luckily today as we speak, my 5 acres I bought at 135. I'm being offered 2.4 million. And my next step is tarmac road, electricity and water. Don't wait to buy to wait. For the price to do what? To go up. So those who are looking at me today, the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge because they have refused to seek it. Yes, we say knowledge is power. But that is utter nonsense. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is power if it is used. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is liberty. Have you gotten, you remember if I philosophize, I'm a philosopher. Benjamin Wangari, I'm a philosopher, and you know how philosophers, we must actually oscillate within the orbit of philosophy. So what I'm saying is this. Ladies and gentlemen, please note this. Foster care is risky. Love itself is risky. Foster care is risky, and love itself is what? Is risky. There is nothing in the universe that does not quote what we call a risk. Like now all of you have eaten the food that was prepared. Were you the ones in the kitchen? How sure are you the food was fit for human consumption? You are seated comfortably here. How do you know whether the engineers met the threshold of sustaining the weight on top of your head? When you enter into an aircraft, did you go asking for the medical checkup whether this man has gone through Dr. Frank Jagger's hospital to know whether his central nervous system is oscillating within normalcy? What do? You take a risk. Life is a series of a risk. Take risks. I did it. I have done it, by the way. I am not going to disclose my figures for fear of being, nowadays in Kenya you have to be very, very careful. I may see some fee notes coming from few corners. But let me say this because I don't have a lot of time. If you want to lead a comfortable life, some of us people, we have even never been to Mombasa. The farthest we know is Thika Falls, 14 Falls. Every year you take your family to 14 Falls. Every year, others, they take their children to their parents as if, until the children have asked them, why have you converted our grandmothers and fathers to be a museum? We are even tired of seeing their museum. Because you can't afford to go out. Let me tell you, even now, some of us people today who are married, we are not married to the people you could have married, but limited resources, limited choices. You know, people without money, they have a way of consoling themselves. Even if I'm flying economy class, and they're flying first class, if the aircraft crashes, we all crash. That is what we call scarcity mentality syndrome. Scarcity mentality syndrome. So if we want to enjoy life, we must continually build our passive income. And let me tell you, and as you grow old, please make sure you have the cash flow with you. You know what I mean by cash flow. Have near money. And the Naivera company is telling you the same. I was at Juja. I was at Kitusuru. I'm now here. Imagine they had even blocked tenants from coming so that we can have this function today. What does that one mean? For those people who have bought, money is knocking on their door. Others they can't afford. You find, if you want to know that a man has money, you shake the belt and you shake the shoe. Like these shoes that you see, I got them from Mexico last week. And they are massaging me as I talk because money must protect my feet. So what I'm saying. And even my kilometer tells me you have 15 minutes to go to the washroom. So it starts now to creak. You know, money liberates. Money does what? Money liberates. If you want to know a lady has money, you only check the bag and the hair. If a lady has got what we call a palm full of growth, you know she's suffering from what we call kwashiorkor, KSH. Kwashiorkor. But a lady with money she'll tell you, this week, Cleopatra, hot water, Daniela, Calypso, Ghanaian, Jamaican, Fiesta, human hair, vibration. These are types of hairstyles. Come on, if you don't know. How will you know if you don't give your spouse money to go and have those hairstyles adorned in her head? And when you have money, you don't just use a phone. Use a mature phone. Even if it rings in an academic way or a financial way. You know, and scarcity is bad. Naivera is telling you, my brother from Mombasa, come, bring your money here. Imagine, let me ask all of you, when you came here and asked, did you come to inspect how they were doing it? You gave them the money to work for you. Money works for you. You cannot work forever. Even me, everything has a sell-by date. I have worked for that 3 years. I'm approaching 60 years. And I can tell you this, that I thank God. I will not struggle. I'll be giving my family money, my children money. Not because they're not working, because I have more than I need. Yes, I will be changing my cars. In the next 5 years, I've already made an order in Germany. Because I'm not just buying a Mercedes-Benz. It is called customed Mercedes-Benz based on my body morphology. The seating and what have you, plus they take care of my back. Because I should not keep money well. Money should keep me well. Touch the material of the shirt. So that is the kind of shirt that you wear. Even if it rains, it is still dry. So what I'm saying is this, honorable members. Anyway, listen to this, honorable members. You know, I have told you I have worked for 33 years, and I have seen men and women who are still suffering the same problems they had when they got employed. Why? Because they have never known the science of money. I have come to tell you this. Right now, Mr. CEO has said that a building will be going at how much? At Kre? 1 point? I have seen personally, I have sat somewhere. I was doing, you know, as a scholar, because I'm a scholar. Yes, I'm an academician, and I require nobody's approval. I paid my school fees. So don't ask whether I'm a PhD holder. It is mine. It is mine, and you prayed no into it. So let me surprise all of you. I do a lot of research. I went through Kiabu Road. I actually drove. That time I was driving my small car, my Bentley. I drove all the way from Ruai bypass to Ruaka. And I can tell you, I found so many men and women taking all assortments of the whiskies and what have you. Mpaka ile pombe inaogereshwa. Wale wanajua pombe inaogereshwa. Inaambiwanga hivi wale hawajui. So I can explain my point. Na utonto gukonywa. Na wananyua kola gagi. Iwe tugaturage. Gocia no igwa mugambo. Unajua pombe inaogereshwa na inapigwa huko nyuma. We. I inquired to know how much that bottle of beer was going at. I was told one was going at 37,500 in a local pub, because I remember buying my friend at Sankara at 87,500. I had to swipe my card because I don't carry cash money personally because of hygiene matters. But what I'm saying is this. By the way, I was with one of the DCC who is actually within Kiabu. He told me these guys have been consuming beer amounting to 435,000 shillings every weekend. A group of 5 men. And you know what? I went further to know, where are they getting all this money from? I'm educated, I'm an analyzer, I'm a hard worker, I'm an executor, I'm a lawyer for those who don't know, I'm a content creator, I'm a lecturer at the 3 universities within Kenya, a visiting lecturer in Chicago. For those who don't understand Chicago, I know it is not true, but Chicago you have to go through John F. Kennedy International Airport, you go to Newark, then you go to O'Hare. So my university is next to what we call Oprah Winfrey. And what I'm saying is this. I was told the money they are consuming is part of their parents' inheritance. I felt bad. Unajinyima maisha because of children. You must give your children education, the rest wakajitafutie. Don't make your children to be slaves. Mwingine anasema, mami utakuva lini? You know, I was called by a lady who made me, I hardly shed tears because I'm a gentleman. And also a very traveled gentleman. But I felt so bad to hear a son asking, because the father died 4 years ago through an accident, and they have a house in Arigam, mami utakuva lini? That was the question. I'm telling you before God. So what I'm saying is this. Let us invest our money. Come to Naivera. Put your money here. Leave the rest to Charles and the board. Leave the rest to Madam Mary. And I'm telling you, these people, they have hired professionals. You can even see the structural, the integrity of the structure. How is it? Haven't you seen something called finesse? These are professionals. And something else, they are removing all the hassles and bustles from your hearts. In terms of going to the National Construction Authority, in terms of going to the National Environmental Management Authority, in terms of approvals from the county government. So you ask us to give them money, then disappear. Go and do what you know best. You find somebody watching football for 2 hours. Hii timu yetu itawini. Wewe ni wagani? Mimi ni wa River. Wewe ni wa Arsenal. And they have never been to Emirates. They have never been to Anfield. They are busy wasting their time seeing this man called Neymar scoring and tumevuga, you know, and he has nothing in his account. Paralysis of analysis and mental psychosis. Say you belong, it's okay. But the question is this: are you building your financial base? In conclusion, because I was given only 15 minutes time, and that's why he has come. Although I know that he's disciplined enough that you do not go talking anyhow to a professor. Otherwise, he may fail you in your defense of your postgraduate course unceremoniously. Now, let me conclude by telling these people one thing. Why are you working? There is nobody who loves working. Let me now give you, leave alone the theory that you learned in your first degree or second degree. The theories of motivation by Henley. You all know that man called who? So you know the man who brought what we call the theory of motivation, the hierarchy of needs. If you went to school, we have other theories. Let me surprise all of you. Nobody loves working. We work because we need money. Am I right? Otherwise, if you just prayed, Jehovah, bring me what we call Porsche Cayenne, it comes. Jehovah, I want you now to provide me what we call a jet fighter. Inakuja. Could you have gone to work? You couldn't. So we do not work because we love working. We love working because our intellectual capability, our skills and competencies brings food on the table. Am I right? Now the question is this. After you have worked, what do you make? You make money. Am I right? We all make money. But after we have all made money, what do we do, all of us? In a homogeneous manner, we spend. Now it is at the point of spending that we have the rich, the poor, and the average. Now, some of us people, we spend all the money that we make. We behave like a hyena, clearing and forwarding. Whatever comes our way, clearing and forwarding. So we eat everything, and that is not enough. We even consume more than we make. So those people who consume more or spend more than they make, they end up entering into a cocoon of debt. Some of us people, we are a walking, committed financial prison. We are a walking, committed financial prisoners. And to know that we have prisoners, make us a mistake of setting somebody. Nyabuda, nikutumia giri moja, hapana itakatwa wewe. Tumia mafuta tuko naye hapa. So everybody knows your financial troubles and woes. So after you have made money, I have come to tell you this. Don't be on that group of people who spend all or more. Enter into a cocoon of those people who spend their money wisely. What do? They save. And those people who save, they do what? They become investors like you are. And those people who become investors, they create wealth. And those people who create wealth, they go to the most desired destination. Just like our pastors promise us that shall go to heaven, although they are promising us from the ground. They don't promise us from heaven. They promise us while still on the ground. That heaven is good. Heaven is not so good. Because the Bible says, respect your mothers and fathers so that your days can be If it was so good, watukaneni mara moja munikute. We. Respect you. So what happens? The moment you become wealthy, you go to the most desired destination, which is called the financial freedom destination, the financial independence destination. When you go there, you have all the choices in the universe. Like me, I pray God at Sigona. If I'm late, I go to Mudaiga, you know, where we normally. And the beauty with that, not even. You see, you have all the choices. What do I mean? You don't drive a second-hand car because the cars that many Kenyans claim to be new, they are 80 years old from Japan. The car that you present to Mushugaji Iobewe, it's an old car. It's an old junk, actually. It only bears new number plates, but in actual sense, it's an old machine, which has even been discarded, which has actually expired, whose expiry of what we call some of year digital depreciation has gone to its lowest level. You go to Toyota Kenya, which is now called the Sifao for those who are familiar with new cars. You go to Toyota Kenya Sifao, you order a new V8, the new shape. You go to what we call Samia Business Park, you order a new Porsche Cayenne, new, 0 mileage. You have all the choices. You take your children to good schools. Not some schools whose names are even demotivating the children on day one. Gedogororo Academy, Wehoge Academy, Madagiro Mahogo Academy. You know, you take your child to a school that the name is even inviting, Briban. Peponi, where we pay, note the word where we pay, 1,535,492.80 to the precision to the zero. Where we pay, or you take your child to Peponi, you take your child to Naisula, St. Andrew's Turi, where we go flying, not driving. Where they have a menu. Not everybody eating like the vaccine for COVID. So, if you come to Naivera today, the house you are buying at 1.4, I can tell you as sure as the sun rises from east and sets in the west, in the next 3 years, that house, Mr. Benjamin Wangari, will be 4.5 million shillings. Am I right? You have made your money. So if you want to go and sell that property, we have people who will be willing to buy even at a higher premium. So this is the time. And I told you this, what is popular today was one day. If somebody told you to buy a plot at Ogataroga in the year 2000, he could have asked you, are you normal? If you said you want to buy a plot at Kitegera, are you okay? What about 1998? And you said you wanted to buy a house in a plot in Kasarani. Are you okay? Only ask people that God had given wisdom early alone bought. So you need to buy and wait. But don't wait to buy. With those few remarks, between B and D, we have letter C. I'm concluding. Between B and D, we have letter C. Between birth and death, we have letter C, or destination. The letter C stands for the choices. They are the choices that you make today that will define your destiny. Na asiyekujua hakudhamini. Lisemolo lipo na kama halipo, liko jiani la jana anda ya neno hunena, Mungu ana ni kitendo. Na usiposimba ufa, utajenga ukuta. Na ukistajabu ya Musa, utaona ya Firaoni. Na majuto ni mjukuu, huja baadaye. Kilicho na mwanzo hakina budi kuwa na mwisho. God bless you all.
Amen. Amen. Wow. Jamani, we can do better. So we can do better. Wow, thank you. Such wonderful insights.